The AFC West features the defending Super Bowl champions and three of the biggest question marks in the NFL this year. No, I'm not kidding. What's going on, guys? Nick Support here, back with another video, and today we're going to talk about the AFC and why everybody but the Kansas City Chiefs is a big question mark. Let's start with the Broncos. Alright, let's get this out of the way. The Broncos were the most disappointing team in the NFL last year. They crashed and burned right away. Nathaniel Hackett, right away, we knew he could not hack it in the NFL as a head coach. Yes, pun intended. He was let go before the season was even out, and that Russell Wilson trade is already looking like a disaster because of what he did last year and what Seattle has done with the picks that they got from Denver. It's not looking good. Now, they brought in Sean Payton. They traded for him from the New Orleans Saints. I'm not too sure how this is going to work out because he spent the last year out of football, and it don't work out that often when you see something like this with head coaches. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We won't know until we see it on the field. But the Broncos are betting that it does. And one thing to help out Russell Wilson, they improved their offensive line. They got Mike McGlinchey and Ben Powers in free agency. Now, they did lose Draymond Jones. He was a key piece on the defensive line, but that offensive line was the biggest thing for them this offseason, and they did a good job making sure that they addressed that. Russell Wilson, he's got to perform better. He was not good last year. He has to play better. He's the quarterback. He's got to play better, and this is a very talented team. Patrick Surtain, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, they have talented players on this team. They just have to perform up to that level. Denver could make some noise with the talent that they have. The only question is, can they perform as a team? Kansas City has won 2 of the past 4 Super Bowls, and now they're looking to go back to back. To be the first team to do that since the 03-04 Patriots. Can they do it? Well, we'll see. They did lose Orlando Brown in free agency, but they signed Juwan Taylor. He was a right tackle in Jacksonville, and now they're expecting him to be a left tackle? You know what? The Chiefs know what they're doing, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. They also released Frank Clark, but they drafted Felix Udike-Uwezie. I think I pronounced that wrong. Sorry about that. And they replaced Juju Smith-Schuster with Rashid Rice from SMU. They did a good job replacing the players that they lost in free agency, and they still have a very talented roster. George Karlaftis, I'm expecting him to be a breakout candidate this year. And there's not much more to say about the Chiefs other than they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They have a great chance to go back-to-back. They're going to be a formidable force this year. They're going to be a fun team to watch again. That's all I can really say about this team. I mean, there's nothing more to say. Josh McDaniels needs to count himself lucky that he still has his job after that performance last year. Derek Carr was the scapegoat on this one. They cut him, and they signed Jimmy Garoppolo. Only issue with Garoppolo is they're still having problems with his foot. There's still questions on whether his foot is going to be okay or not. And if it's not, they could void that deal, so they'd be back to square one. Man, I think the Raiders might be regretting not taking a quarterback earlier than round 4 in the draft. Anyway, there's also questions with Josh Jacobs and Davante Adams. Davante Adams went to the Raiders because of Derek Carr. How much longer is he going to stick around? And Josh Jacobs, they put the franchise tag on him. Are they going to be able to sign him to a long-term deal or not? I don't know. The reason they had any form of success was because of Jacobs. And I am truly concerned with the secondary. Rocky Sinn's gone. They did draft Corian Bennett in the 4th round to be their nickel guy. But I don't know. I don't know. This secondary has a lot of question marks for me, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of pressure on Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson to get to the quarterback this year and help take the pressure off of that secondary and hope that it can mask it a little bit. I don't know. That's how much this secondary worries me. Chargers, I just have one question for you. How do you blow a 27-0 lead in a freaking playoff game? That is one of the worst collapses I have ever seen since I started watching football, and that's saying something. The Chargers better be able to put this in the rear-view mirror and realize they are still a talented team that should be expected to make the playoffs this year. Otherwise, Brandon Staley, he'll be gone. Now, they got Eric Kendricks, they lost Drew Tranquill, and they drafted Quentin Johnston in the first round. They still have Keenan Allen, they still have Mike Williams. Johnston is going to be a nice complementary piece to that. Justin Herbert is still one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, you have a question on what's going to happen with Austin Eckler. He asked for a trade, but the market just wasn't there for him. The market for a running back his age, it's just not there. In today's NFL, it's just not there. And he's still one of their best players. He might be their best player. So he's an important piece to this team. But that 27-0 lead that they blew in that playoff game, that is going to be hovering over them until they can prove to themselves and to their fans that that's behind them. Hopefully they do that sooner rather than later. Alright guys, those were my thoughts on the teams from the AFC West. I've only got one division left, and that's the NFC West. As always, I'll see you guys next time.